Are you trying to get Waves SuperRack Performer dialed in with a whole bunch of plugins, or you're trying to use the Alpha Labs defeedback plugin inside of Waves SuperRack Performer? Well, there is a nice little CPU bar, as well as a very key indicator to show you if you need to either A, lessen the amount of plugins that you're running, or B, increase your buffer size. Let me show you. And that is right here in the upper right-hand corner of Waves SuperRack Performer. We can see my sample rate is set to 48K, my buffer is set to 32, and my audio is green. And then we can also see this little CPU graph right here. Now there's two indicators. There is the actual graph bar, and then there is this little peak that is right here. Now if I went and added a really heavy plugin, so I'm going to go ahead and add a defeedback on this guy. So here's defeedback. Now notice my CPU average is right here, but notice the peak bar is all the way at the top. Now we will also notice that audio is now in yellow. Now if this is set in yellow, that means the system is experiencing a high CPU usage, which we can see right here. This peak is all the way up at the top. So this would be a key indicator to either A, lessen the amount of plugins that you have, or B, increase your buffer settings. Now one thing that we can go do is go into setup and change our buffer size. Now we can do that in our control panel here. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my control panel, and I'm going to increase my buffer size to 64 and press OK. And at this point, we will now see that our CPU usage is much less. We can see our peak is just in the yellow, and our audio is set to green, which is very important. Now, obviously, you can still run plugins with the audio being in a yellow color. It's just a warning showing you that A, you are running too many plugins, or B, as a warning to increase your buffer. Now, your buffer, when you increase it, is going to add in latency. However, it's going to lessen the processor task on your CPU, which will then give your CPU more headroom for being able to process your audio plugins. And this is going to be especially key if you are trying to dial in defeedback using Waves SuperRack Performer. Hopefully this helps.